Well, Daniela, it has been amazing to hear about what you do in your business, Unfolding Space. I do have our fast five questions we're going to ask you. Our listeners
Mhm.
love to hear these answers. So, without anything further, let's dive into the fast five. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs getting started today in regards to their spirituality or feng shui?
To turn routines into rituals,
Could you give
bringing them.
an example of turning a routine into a ritual?
Yes, it starts with doing the routine with more mindfulness and more intention and more energy behind it. It's not just, oh, let's get it done. So it's I can check it off my list. It's when you're already doing it, why not being mindful about it? Why not setting an attention behind it? It gives so much more quality to the routine you're doing. And it's not like I have to do the routine. It turns into I can't wait to do my ritual for today.
Mm. So I'm going to give you an example and you tell me if it's right.
Yeah.
So getting the coffee ready for the next day. So it's either I'm going to pour the grinds in, I'm going to pour the water in, I'm going to set the timer. Coffee's going to be ready tomorrow. Instead, approach it as this is going to be what I am going to love in the morning. It's going to give me life. It's going to give me energy. It's going to propel me into having a positive day. Is that more or less?
Oh, absolutely. Because, especially with food and water and everything, it stores energy. So water stores energy. And when you have your glass and or your glass of water, or you prepare your coffee and the energy you give to the water and the mindfulness, it will change the structure of the water. And this is what you will then drink the next day. So it's a win-win situation.
That is a beautiful approach to monotonous tasks. Like you can do that with any task, you know? And it's just a great approach to it to bring more energy to your life. I love that.
Mhm.
All right, number 2, do you have any YouTube or podcast shows? They could be German or English, or you could do both, one of each, that you would recommend to our listeners?
I love to listen to Ellie Brown. She's also a business mentor and a female leader. And I love her because she's completely thinking out of the box. And I love podcasts who are bringing me to think out of the box. Just today, I talked to a lady and I was just referencing to the podcast. I said, in Germany, I dare to say this, the what you are doing, for example, Eric, with your podcast, it's for real estate investors, but you bring in people on mindfulness and spirituality. So, and you are creating this new energy, bringing two worlds together and opening up the space for people to look further, to look out of the box and to see solutions in different angles, different views, different perspectives. This is something what I missed a little bit in Germany. And so I'm very excited to really connect with people like you or your podcast. And for example, also Ellie Brown, so she could also talk just about strategy, but she's touching also on so many things which are very valuable for female entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much for that, and I got a little chill when you said that because 'cause I'm like, "That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring real estate investing to this intentional life, design and
Mhm.
marry them together."
Mhm.
So thank you for that. I got chills. Um, all right, number 3, if you had to pick one book that you feel has made the biggest impact on your life, what book would that be?
Well, it's the Surrender Experiment from Michael Singer. I don't know if you have read, I guess you have, probably you
No,
haven't. It's,
no.
oh my God, yes, please,
Okay.
please do so. Through this book, I have learned that saying yes is just saying yes without thinking about what you want or what your protocol or your conception is can lead you to an amazing, amazing life. Following synchronicities and following coincidences can make a huge, huge difference. You don't have to know how the path is going to unfold. You just should know where you want to go.
Hmm.
This is what I learned from this book.
That is lovely. Just so y'all know, listeners, all of the things that we talk about today, any links, any books, any suggestions, those will be in the show notes. All right. I look forward to reading that. Thank you. And number 4, what do you feel has been the secret sauce to your success?
Not take myself too seriously and not believe into the possibilities which are around. So I think I have to just tell a little like short story. So I'm a mom of 4 children. My husband and me, we are both entrepreneurs. We are living a really, really crazy, busy life. And we also got a German Shepherd 2 years ago because in case we could get bored, It's so.
With 4
And,
kids, I'm sure your
well,
plate's
yeah.
not full.
So I think the secret sauce, because I get asked very often, like, how do you handle it all? Like, I always handle one thing at a time. How do you handle 4 kids? Well, they came one after the other. They didn't come like I didn't have this life from one day to the other. It unfolded itself. And so it was always taking one step at a time and not going into my drama. Oh my God, how I'm going to do it. It's like, okay, that's my life. Let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's not take myself too seriously. And then along the way, I learned to let go of wanting to be perfect and get everything perfectly done. And this was the finesse and in the secret sauce.
Yes. I love that. That's a great approach and one of the better answers I've ever heard. I love that. And last question before we wrap things up today, where is the best place for our listeners to get in touch with you to learn more about what you teach?
So it's definitely my Instagram account. This is where I love to be. It's unfolding space en. And then on my website, of course, there are quite some resources where you can connect to me, to my newsletters, and read my blogs and everything else.